Pegasus, a mythical creature from old Greek tales, is commonly shown as a splendid winged horse. This creature is believed to have emerged from the blood of Medusa, a Gorgon, at her defeat by Perseus, a legendary hero. Typically, Pegasus is illustrated as a stunning white horse with expansive wings, enabling it to soar swiftly and nimbly through the skies. Among its well-known adventures is the story of Bellerophon, who successfully subdued Pegasus using a golden bridle, a gift from the goddess Athena. Pegasus is usually depicted with a horse's body, but it's his magnificent wings that make him magical. This winged horse is believed to have been created by Poseidon, the god of the sea in Greek mythology. It's interesting to note that Poseidon, associated with the ocean, is linked to a creature that doesn't dwell in the sea. The ancients thought Poseidon was inspired by the horse-like appearance of ocean waves. The creation of Pegasus by Poseidon wasn't a typical biological process. While it's partially accurate to say Poseidon brought Pegasus into existence, the full story involves Perseus, a Greek hero, playing a role in Pegasus's creation. Perseus was chosen to confront Medusa, the only mortal Gorgon. Unlike others who turned to stone upon seeing her, Perseus was immune thanks to gifts from the gods, including Athena's reflective shield, Hades' cap of invisibility, Hermes' winged sandals, and Hephaestus' sword. He managed to defeat Medusa with a single strike in her cave, an act that unknowingly led to Pegasus' creation. After Medusa's demise, Perseus stored her head, later using it to defeat the sea monster Cetus. However, it was Medusa's blood, mingling with seawater or perhaps influenced by Poseidon, that eventually resulted in the birth of Pegasus. In Greek mythology, the birth of beings through the interaction of blood and elements like the sea is a recurring theme. This is evident in the origins of figures like Aphrodite and the Furies. Following this pattern, Poseidon, the powerful Olympian god, is often seen as Pegasus' father, while Medusa, the Gorgon, is considered her mother. Due to Poseidon's esteemed status on Mount Olympus, Pegasus was allowed to stay there with the other Olympian gods. However, Athena, the goddess of wisdom and war, noticed Pegasus' untamed nature and occasional outbursts, typical of a wild horse. To manage this, Athena used a golden bridle to tame Pegasus. Bellerophon, a well-known hero and son of Poseidon and the mortal Eurynome, features prominently in a story related to Pegasus. After killing her brother, Bellerophon was exiled from Corinth and eventually settled in Argos. While there, he unintentionally charmed Antea, the queen of Argos, but declined her advances out of gratitude for his refuge in Argos. Antea, upset by his rejection, falsely claimed that Bellerophon had tried to assault her. As a result, the king of Argos, misled by this accusation, sent Bellerophon to Lycia to meet Queen Antea's father, King Iobates. This turn of events would lead to further notable adventures in Bellerophon's life. Bellerophon, unknowingly carrying his own death warrant, was sent to deliver a letter to King Iobates of Lycia. The letter, unbeknownst to Bellerophon, contained instructions for King Iobates to execute him, explaining the accusations back in Argos. King Iobates, however, found himself unable to personally kill the young Greek hero. Opting for an indirect approach, he assigned Bellerophon a seemingly impossible task, hoping fate would take its course. He tasked Bellerophon with eliminating a fearsome creature wreaking havoc around Lycia, assuming the creature would defeat Bellerophon. The creature in question was the Chimera, a formidable fire-breathing monster with heads of a lion, a dragon, and a goat. Realizing the immense challenge he faced, Bellerophon sought guidance from the goddess Athena, hoping for a divine intervention to tackle the monstrous Chimera. Following his prayer, Bellerophon received the golden bridle that Athena herself used to tame Pegasus. With this, Pegasus allowed Bellerophon to mount him, and together they flew into battle. Riding Pegasus, Bellerophon was able to swiftly and successfully defeat the Chimera. The ease with which he conquered the monster led Bellerophon to develop a sense of divine entitlement, believing he deserved a place among the Greek gods. Driven by this belief, he rode Pegasus up to the heavens, aiming for Mount Olympus, the abode of the gods. However, Zeus, the supreme god, took offence at Bellerophon's audacity and sent a giant fly to intervene. The fly stung Pegasus, causing the horse to buck and throw Bellerophon off. This fall from the sky led to Bellerophon's tragic demise. Pegasus stood as a source of inspiration for many in ancient Greece, especially poets. This inspiration is symbolised by the springs that were said to emerge where Pegasus trod. The most famous of these springs is on Mount Helicon, closely associated with Pegasus. This mythical horse was deeply connected with the Muses, the personifications of the arts and knowledge in Greek mythology. The Muses, 9 sisters, were considered essential for human creativity and discovery. The bond between Pegasus and the Muses was so profound that the Muses were sometimes called the Pegasides, reflecting their close association with Pegasus. In a certain myth, Pegasus is credited with creating springs or fountains by striking the ground powerfully with his hoof. From these waters, water nymphs known as Pegasides emerged. The Muses, renowned as embodiments of the arts and knowledge, are identified in this narrative as water nymphs, hence the term Pegasides. According to this tale, Pegasus precedes the Muses, his actions leading to the creation of the springs from which the Pegasides, or Muses, originate. There were 9 particularly notable Pegasides who resided near these springs. They would often immerse themselves in the waters for rejuvenation or to seek fresh inspiration. After their time in the waters, these Muses would dance and sing on the lush grass surrounding the springs. Their extraordinary abilities in these arts led to their recognition as the Muses, symbols of creativity and the pursuit of knowledge. This story highlights the integral role of Pegasus in the mythology surrounding the Muses and their creative inspirations. This tale also suggests that Pegasus has a connection to springs, which is logical considering his father is Poseidon, the god of the seas. Another myth says that the Muses were around before they became associated with Pegasus. This story is perhaps more popular now than it was in ancient times. It's not clear which version was actually believed in ancient Greece, but this one is the more entertaining. There was a singing competition between the 9 Muses and the 9 daughters of Perseus on Mount Helicon. When Perseus' daughter sang, it became dark. But when the Muses sang, everything, the sky, the sea, and rivers, stood still to listen. The mountain they were on seemed to reach the heavens. Seeing this, Poseidon sent Pegasus to solve the issue. Pegasus flew from Mount Olympus to the mountain and struck the ground with his hoof. This created Hippocrene, or horse spring, known as a source of poetic inspiration. Many poets would drink its water for inspiration, linking the Muses with Pegasus, who were then called Pegasides. Greek myths often involve gods and creatures becoming constellations. Zeus, the god of thunder, did this. Pegasus also became a constellation, now one of the largest in the sky. There are 2 stories about how Pegasus became a constellation. In one, Zeus allowed him to fly to the heavens, granting him a place among the stars. In the other, Pegasus carried Zeus's lightning bolts in battles. Even when Zeus's army was scared and the enemy was strong, Pegasus stayed with Zeus. As a reward for his service and to honour his bravery, Zeus immortalised Pegasus in the sky as a constellation. This act of transforming Pegasus into a constellation served as a testament to his heroism and a reminder of his contributions to the gods' victories. And that brings us to the end of our journey through the mystical and captivating tales of Pegasus, the winged horse of Greek mythology. If you've enjoyed this journey through myth and legend, please like and subscribe for more fascinating stories. Until next time, keep exploring the wonders of the past. Yours truly, Mythos, the historian.